This is the USL on ESPN tonight from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, an Eastern Conference clash in the USL Championship. It's the Charleston Battery and the Birmingham Legion. A beautiful Friday evening on this holiday weekend, and things are heating up in the Eastern Conference with Charleston just 5 points off the top of Louisville City. For Birmingham Legion, 3 points tonight, and they can make some inroads into that top four. We welcome you into Patriots Point with lead USL analyst Devin Kerr. I'm Josh Eastern. Since Birmingham came into the league in 2019, both Charleston and Birmingham have had success. You go back to last year, Birmingham getting their first playoff win. They've made the playoffs every year. Charleston just 3 kicks away from a title. What are these teams chasing in 2024 now?
USL Championship title or bust. It's the aspirations that they had coming into the season, and they still carry that now. That's the quality that they possess. But the Charleston Battery did it right off the bat. 11 games unbeaten to start 2024. That's top 6 all time. It's too long. It's all right. We sit there too long. It's okay. We were wasting time. So we either do it live or we pick one.
His commitment and excellence have been recognized with several notable accolades, including the Commandant's Commendation Medal and 3 Achievement Medals, alongside numerous other personal and unit awards that underscore his outstanding contributions to the service. Beyond his professional achievements, Brandon finds fulfillment in his role as a husband to Lisa and a devoted father to their 3 children, Greg, Lee, and Keel. Battery fans.
The USL Summer of Soccer rolls on with a stop in the Low Country for a 2023 playoff rematch with Charleston hosting Birmingham. Battery forward MD Myers has hit the ground running in his first season in the championship and will help lead the line again tonight. For the Legion, forward Prosper Kasim has been with Birmingham since the beginning and makes a milestone appearance. It's the Battery and the Legion next. This is the USL on ESPN tonight from Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's the Charleston Battery and the Birmingham Legion. A beautiful night in this holiday weekend for some Eastern Conference action. And the standings in the Eastern Conference. Charleston just 5 points off the top with Lou City, while Birmingham 3 points tonight could move them all the way up to 5th spot. And we welcome you into Patriots Point with lead USL analyst Devin Kerr. I'm Josh Eastern. both Charleston and Birmingham have seen a lot of success over the last few years, but for Birmingham, they've made the playoffs each of their 5 seasons, just 1 win. The Charleston Battery last year, 3 kicks away. What vision are these teams chasing in 2024?
It's the same one that they had at the start of the season. It's USL Championship title or bust, and that's the quality that these teams possess, but show none better than what the Charleston Battery did to start the year. 11 games unbeaten at the start of 2024 in USL Championship play. They were flying in every sense of that. They could do nothing wrong on the attacking side, and defensively, one of the best numerically. But then the Ford drops. The ball doesn't bounce your way, the referee's not on your side, you pick up a couple of injuries, and you got to take a long look in the mirror and blame no one but yourself. That's exactly what Ben Pierman said, the head coach of the Charleston Battery. So how did they respond? 5 goals in the second half victory against North Carolina FC, tied for the second most in the second 45 minutes in USL Championship regular season history. Fortunately enough for them, they got Nick Marcanic back on the board, and that's the most important thing for this team. It's not that he's an out-and-out goal scorer, because the numbers will tell you that that's the case. 12 goals and 3 assists in the first 9 games of the season, but he's not a 9. This is a winger that's all about pressure defensively and his ability to maintain width on the outside to provide options and the way that he could invert. Unfortunately, some of that got away from him, and it's part of the growing pains that the Battery experienced this season, but finally, back on top.
Just shows how fine the margins are over a long season. For Birmingham, midfielder Enzo Martinez, he's the talisman of this team.
Positionally, a similar conversation that you and I had lined about Philip Goodrum, and it's the balance that he's going to create in the midfield. You have to understand for Enzo Martinez, he's got to be deep and he's got to be high, but you don't want him too deep. 5 yards off the back line is bad. Same conversation just off the front line. He floats in that gray area to give you support. Tactically, he's capable of anything, but where you want him is just on the backside as a player to roll through. 120 goal contributions in USL Championship history. You don't have the luxury of having him out of position and finding success.
We are building you up to first kick tonight from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, a clash in the Eastern Conference. It's the Charleston Battery and Birmingham Legion coming up next. Closing in on first kick tonight from Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, the Charleston Battery and the Birmingham Legion. A warm Friday night as we get you closer to first kick. A chance to look at tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with Charleston and head coach Ben Pierman. He makes one change from that 5-2 win over North Carolina.
Friendly reminder, they win 11 games unbeaten, then winless in 5. So that second half against North Carolina FC that saw 5 goals, this is about continuing to rebuild the confidence within this group that is capable of winning a USL Championship title. They can go in transition, they can put the ball on the deck and make you feel uncomfortable. They've got everything in their arsenal. What sort of consistency lies for Ben Pierman and his boys over the next 90 minutes is the question. Birmingham Legion, Tommy Sohn, he's got a couple of interesting changes here. The first one notable on the back line, a big task here for Ramiz Hamoda. He's going to be the direct mark against Nick Markanek. Stay balanced there. Don't overstep your boundaries. Keep the run in front of you. Moving into the midfield, a good addition. They get Jake Roof back alongside Enzo Martinez. They'll free him up to move forward more aggressively. And then that front line, what you see within those three is going to change every 2 or 3 minutes. They give them the freedom to float. What they have to make sure is that they don't get out of position and maintain a constant presence as the midfield moves forward.
And a key miss tonight for Birmingham. No A.J. Patterson in the starting lineup, nor on the bench. He had spent 5 seasons with Charleston, now in his first year with Birmingham, so he misses the return trip home to face his former club. That is our referee tonight, Lorenzo Hernandez. He will have the whistle. It is a very warm evening tonight in Charleston. Temperatures in the high 80s. Humidity making it maybe a little bit warmer as well. One of 2 matches in the USL Championship tonight, and a playoff rematch from a year ago. In the Eastern Conference semi-final, it was won by the Charleston Battery by 2-1. Ben Pierman, former USL Championship Coach of the Year. That was with Memphis a couple of years ago, now in his 2nd season in charge of the Charleston Battery, trying to follow up what this team did a year ago and winning that Eastern Conference. Here we go. We are set for kickoff. It's the Charleston Battery and the Birmingham Legion. We are underway from Patriots Point. Charleston Battery trying to pick up where they left off from that second half last week. And what a second half it was. 5 goals in the second half. The first time in the championship era Charleston has scored 5 goals. This shot is out of play for a goal kick. They're only the 16th team to do it all time. And it helped them to a 5-2 win over North Carolina. Carolina picking up a red card, and Charleston pretty much shot out of a cannon after that. Talking with head coach Ben Pierman, he said they just need more of the same from that late first half. They carried it into the second half. They grew into the game. He thought his team had a positive response in the second half. They're trying to start on the front foot here. Here's Markanek. Maybe trip from behind. The referee waves it away. Myers keeps it alive as it's lofted centrally. Birmingham get it away. Well, it wasn't quite the same last time out for Birmingham Legion. A game that Tommy Sohn said it was just an anomaly. A 4-1 loss against Louisville City. That's a handball against Prosper Kasim and a free kick. So Birmingham looking to turn the page. Charleston trying to pick up where they left off, and now a set piece coming for the Battery. Tommy Sohn, he's been here since the beginning for the Legion, the only head coach in club history. Been diminished with injuries. Malloy to deliver, lofts it back post. To be headed away. It was the 16-year-old Hamoda who got his head to it, and an early corner kick for Charleston. Under the Eastern Conference champion banner from last year, Malloy have to wait an extra moment.
All right, let's try that again. Another corner kick coming up for your Charleston Battery. Let's hear it.
Malloy, high lofted ball, back post. Archer got his head to it, but a foul in the middle with Derek Dodson going down. And another return to Charleston. Derek Dodson on loan from Minnesota United, part of that Eastern Conference champion team from last year.
The stop-start nature to this game is actually quite similar to what we've seen in terms of overall performances for both of these teams over the past couple of weeks. And that's the question for me when it comes to the Charleston Battery and the Birmingham Legion. What version are we going to get of them, and how much aggression are we going to get out of each one of these teams who have struggled to consistently put together 90 over the past month or so?
Myers lofting it across, a long run into the corner, but it is taken by Marcanic. Segbers. Malloy. Birmingham looking for a way out, but Charleston keeping that pressure high up the fields. Marcanic. Moved out wide, Segbers. His delivery headed up. Trying to head it away. Dos Santos will keep it alive for the Battery. Right now, Birmingham can't get out of their own half. They come infield again. Nikaza really ran through. Marcanic couldn't quite pick up the loose ball. Now the shot comes on, and it rattles the post. Martinez trying to move it out. Charleston keeps it in. He scored 5 goals in the last half they played against North Carolina, and they're trying to pick up where they left off. Torres. Playing through the middle again. Here's Emilio Icaza. David Torres. Now Charleston showing some patience. Archer. Smith. Delivery back out to the near side. Torres looks infield. Torres! Even off the head of Marcanic. No, instead it was Kavita. And another corner kick, fast start for Charleston.
I think we can assuredly say we know which team came out with a ton of confidence to start this match. Energy, the ability to chase the game. The Charleston Battery are incensed right now that they are going to be the ones to make an impact early on. At their best, it's not just numbers up high, ball movement, and their ability to counter. It's the press, the pressure that is so constant, almost impossible for any team to play out of the back.
All right, we'll do it again. A corner kick coming up for your Charleston Battery. Let's hear you.
On David Torres, 23-year-old, ready to deliver. Puts it right in the mixer, and Hibbert had to touch it over the bar. The 19-year-old goalkeeper, some early action here.
Head coach Tommy Sohn said that performance against Louisville was a throwaway, but the one takeaway that you're gonna look at was the goalkeeping performance by that man, Jaden Hibbert, who's got a ton of talent coming out of UConn. His first year as a pro on loan from Atlanta United, just needs to be a little bit more sound in his positioning and decision-making. That's where they struggled the most against Lou City.
Here it comes again, back post, Smith, and just wide. And now a chance to breathe for Birmingham. Football 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Hibbert, the goalkeeper for Birmingham, made 4 saves last week on loan from Atlanta. Marcanic moves it out wide. Another chance to shoot. It's batted away and then cleared. Is there something going back the other way for Birmingham? There is not. Allen. Kaza floated out wide for Segbers. Segbers, back post, cleared away. Roof, not a convincing clearance. Dos Santos, right back for Jake Roof. Now Enzo Martinez, trying to get him involved. Sliding challenge by Segbers. Taka couldn't get onto it. Archer slips as this ball is played through and taken by Jaden Hibbert.
A little bit on the outside for Birmingham Legion to start the game, and does start with that front three. Regardless of where they're located on the field, got to make sure they have really good communication. Tabor Taka, Tyler Pastor, and Kasim on the near side right here. Moda tries to play out, just not enough help defensively, so it forces Enzo Martinez out of the midfield. The Battery pick it up, they recognize their space, and they play. And that's sort of been what it's like on both sides, but specifically on this right-hand flank here for the Battery, taking full advantage of it.
And Kaza, couple step overs, still Emilio Kaza. Dos Santos in for Allen. Charleston side, that win against North Carolina ended 5 games winless. There were 2 losses and 3 draws during that stretch. Included 3 0-0 draws and just 1 goal scored. You recognize that team from a few weeks ago right now. Malloy for Akaza. Another deflection as Segbers is in space. It comes centrally. Chance to shoot for Marcanic. It took a deflection and it's cleared away by Dodson. Header out of play, and now maybe something coming for Birmingham. Birmingham this season, 7-6-3, 24 points. But in their 6 losses, they have been outscored 15-1. And that 1 goal came against Lou City last week. So when they lose, it's been ugly, unfortunately, for Tommy Sohn and the Legion.
I would say the biggest thing for them right now is health. Just trying to find a way to survive this difficult slate of games once they get everybody back into fitness and on the mend. And you know, tactically, they've made a couple of switches this season. I really like the direction that they're headed right now and what opportunities it can provide for them in the future for a team that has struggled in the final third. Defensively has always been one of the best in the USL Championship, but you know, having that constant presence up top, who's going to be in collaboration with Enzo Martinez, these are all the things that since his arrival, they've really struggled to check the box on. But a really good stretch of games where they were able to notch every single one. And then you pick up a couple of more injuries. Jake Roof, although back tonight, he was out. Dawson McCartney, a big loss. This is the direction for the future. Just what does it look like in that gray area in between as you try and get everybody back?
And as Tommy Sohn said, he says it's been refreshing to see others step up. This team is just keep plugging forward, trying to find results when they can. Go back a couple of weeks ago, that game against Detroit on the road, a couple of late goals to win it. First shot of the game, blocked as Archer clears. Another cross coming in, dealt with in the middle. And now Marcanic. Martinez slides in to take it right back. Down the line, Pasher. And Dos Santos sliding in, a heavy challenge, but it was a clean one. This is the second matchup of 2024 between Charleston and Birmingham. They met back on May 15th, a 1-0 win for Charleston. Emilio Icaza scoring the lone goal in that game in the 61st minute. This ball out of play.
Yeah, the depth is something that Charleston Battery now have the luxury of really good scouting in the offseason. They go get Josh Drack and Nate Dos Santos, and they went with Nate Dos Santos tonight specifically because of his one-on-one capability in defensive moments. Great job here as he tracks back that full explosion of speed to chase down one of the quicker players on the front line in Tyler Pasher. But he doesn't overcommit, right? He slows the game down for him so that he makes the attacker make the mistake. The second that he cuts in back behind, the defender owns him. Textbook defending from Nate Dos Santos.
Santos in his first year with Charleston after a couple of years with Pittsburgh, made 50 appearances for Bob Lilly and the Riverhounds. And as Foster puts this on a platter out wide for Dodson, who's cutting it in, trying to connect with Enzo Martinez and cleared away. Tommy Sohn was telling us just about how clean on the ball Kobe Hernandez Foster is, some of his distribution as well. Here's the youngster Hamoda making his first start. Turning the corner is Tabor Ataka getting end line, cutting it back. Comes out to the top of the area. Roof for Dodson. Another deflected cross, punched away. Nobody in goal, but the shot is wide. And Hernandez Foster could not test the goalkeeper.
That's much better from a Birmingham Legion. Good patience on the outside, but the presence by Preston Tabor Ataka. Watch the positioning, as I mentioned, right atop the 18 of Enzo Martinez. He's a little bit early here on that run. You want him at a different angle. If he doesn't chase down into the corner, Josh, all of a sudden, he's got a diagonal run towards the top of the 6 instead of overindulging on the first one and then the second chance coming back to it, but much better from the visitors.
Birmingham Legion side that is tied for the most road points in a USL Championship with 17, along with Louisville and Charleston. We go back to last season, they had 19 points in total, so well ahead of that mark of 17 from last year. Pardon me, of 19 from last year, 17 this year, as it's floated back into the corner.
Back to the mathnasium in the offseason?
Yeah, we're gonna work on it. A curling effort taken by Grinwis. Numbers are hard, I know you know.
Stay away from it altogether. Life's a lot easier.
Push in the back, Ronali coming forward. Free kick to Charleston near midfield.
Patchwork field that is Patriots Point right now is just going through some changes. Explanation from the club is they're actually transitioning from their winter rye seed that is trying to take now as they've approached the summer months. Actually plays quite well. It's not optically as pleasant as maybe some would like.
Thompson did mention it, it's not an easy field. Its second balls and transition moments will be important in this game. So maybe Charleston has gotten a little bit more direct over these past few weeks as their struggles have come to the forefront. for Hibbert. Distribution out to midfield. Taka onto it. And the flag is up for offside. Malloy, one of the big off-season signings for the Charleston Battery after a couple of years with Memphis. Before that with forward Madison in USL League One. Here come the Battery again as it's floated forward. Marcanic's up there. Kavita, strong defending, and out for a goal kick.
Started with really good pressure by the Birmingham Legion. But as the ball squeaks itself through, it's about the recovery from Fanuel Kavita. Trying to win a one-on-one battle against that center back who's right around 6'2", near impossible. It's the perfect angle from Marcanic. But the way that Kavita closes this down, is able to establish his dominant position and then go vertical. Very impressive.
Challenges like that, something that Ben Pierman expecting, whether it's a counter-attacking match, a technical match, a physical match. This Birmingham team is up for anything.
The thing is about it, Josh, for a center back, when you're trying to retreat that way, a lot of times you're cutting underneath the attacker, so your angle brings your momentum right into him.
This is floated forward. It's a free header centrally, but cleared away.
That's what I was talking about when I referenced the positioning, how if you're Fanuel Kavita, it's not just the explosion of speed and how you get back onto the shoulder of Nick Marcanic, it's the ability to then go straight up in the air, because if you're retreating and you jump, your body's gonna drift right into the attacker and the referee's gonna blow the whistle. Instead, really well done by him to get back, come up, and then go win the header.
Two players went down. It was Archer and Tabor Taka. The referee said play on. Roof. Trying to move it out wide, nothing doing for Birmingham. And the throw-in on the way for the Battery. The referee wants to have a quick conversation about that collision moments ago. Tune into ESPN2 for a USL Summer of Soccer showdown between Championship Eastern Conference rivals. Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Hartford Athletic battle to stay in the race for playoff contention on Saturday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Mechanic pulled back. Might be the game's first yellow card. Be to Prosper Kasim.
Space available. Once again, they're still having a little bit of trouble. Birmingham Legion on this left-hand flank. What they've done is brought Hamoda a little bit deeper, for the most part, off the left shoulder of Fanuel Kavita. And I talked to you over the lineup coming into the match that you don't want to let him get too involved in the attack. Then he has a lot more ground to close down. It's more difficult in his individual matchup against Nick Marcanic. So you keep him deep, keep the game in front of you, but there's a ton of space out there that still needs to be closed down, and the Legion haven't been able to rotate either through the midfield or that front line to get over there quick enough.
So many weapons in this Charleston attack. Another throw-in coming for the Battery.
That's the biggest difference between the Battery team this year and last. The 2023 team that, as you referenced in the open, 3 balls 12 yards out away for putting a star above the crest.
On your home field.
Bingo. If not for the comeback from Phoenix Rising. They were a little bit one-dimensional for me, and that's not to say they didn't have multiple options attacking-wise, but it was very systematic based. It was A to B to C, and you could follow the trigger points. That's not the case here. They're more aggressive in their press. but they're capable of playing the game defensively anywhere on the field.
Play quickly through lines.
They have the ability to play from outside in. They can play in transition. It's dead balls, it's combination play. You pin them deep, they'll work their way out. They'll go direct up over the top. And all of a sudden, that level of efficiency that was prevalent in 2023 has carried over, and they have options. That's why it's so difficult to find a way to break this team down and sustain their pressure.
Take out the goalkeeper. Everybody in the starting lineup except for Leland Archer has a goal contribution this year. You can turn to a lot of different players for the Battery this season, and especially some of that depth off the bench. Jackson Conway, Arturo Rodriguez, Robbie Crawford, Zeke Soto, who they just signed from Houston. They've turned a lot to this man, Nick Marcanic. And Kaza. Teams have settled in after a bit of a frantic start. Charleston bombing forward, chance after chance, couldn't put one away. Torres rolling it in, on the turn, Dos Santos couldn't keep it. Now trying to play it into space. Preston Tabor to Taka, playing right at Mark Segbers. Looking for some options, finds one. Here's Pasher. Enzo Martinez. Is it in field, trying to get the return ball, couldn't get it to him. Amoda rolling it in, the flick by Martinez over the bar. That's what Martinez can give you, just yards outside of that goal.
How much better, though, from the Birmingham Legion. Actually tried to pick him up on the first one, and that opportunity quickly closed itself down. Credit to Aaron Malloy, who closes off the ability to find that ball back in through, but they lose the runner. That's got to be a quicker rotation on the back line from Graham Smith. Aaron Malloy assumes he's got the weak side pressure. Never assume when you're matched up against Enzo Martinez. He'll make you pay.
Marcanic, he'll make you pay as well. Getting end line, cutting it back, and cleared away. Jarred loose, it's Allen. Now Malloy. Allen's service coming in, the flick is wide, but the flag first up for offside. Good story coming out today on USLChampionship.com. Nicholas Murray, the many and varied personalities of Enzo Martinez, but I really like this quote from Legion President Jay Heaps. He said every time he wants to do anything, whether it's cornhole or anything he can compete in, he wants to compete. He said, for me, that's what separates him from a lot of other players. It's just that innate ability to compete at everything.
That hits home.
Yeah.
It's right, the willingness to push yourself to uncomfortable places to achieve your desired goal. Could be goals, assists, a title, proper placement on the couch for movie night.
You know that's a battle.
It's amazing.
No, I agree.
Take over,
I agree. His 237th all-time appearance. That ties Justin Portillo for 13th all-time tonight. 72 goals, 48 assists. He just continues to get it done wherever he goes. Long time with Charlotte, brief stint with Colorado, the North Carolina Tar Heel.
He's just continued to evolve. So Martinez, as Father Time has continued to clock on, but he refuses to punch that time card. Three-time Gatorade Player of the Year of North Carolina. 3 state
championships at the high school level. 182 goals scored. We're still at high school, by the way. And he goes to UNC, wins a national title there, star-studded cast that was, into the professional ranks. It's been USL, a brief stint in MLS, played quite well for himself, I might add, for the Colorado Rapids. And again, a guy who's so attack-minded in that 9-10 type role. Then it's the wing. You drop him a little bit deeper as Enzo Martinez continues his professional path. Seems like everything that is asked of him, he's done and more.
Ball deflected out, so it's a corner kick coming for Birmingham. First corner of the game for the Legion. Tyler Pasher stands over it. Driven ball back post, Archer up to meet it. Casa for Dos Santos. Coming through the back at a foul. It's Manuel Cavita. Stoppage in play, a hydration break because of the hot temperatures tonight. Temperatures in the high 80s here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And it's a good one for, is that some ice cream or frozen lemonade, something of the sort? A lot of cool treats. It's been a fun week across the USL Championship, kicking off the USL Summer of Soccer. And plenty of fans through the gates. And how about the 1 millionth fan through the gate in Sacramento the other night? Sacramento taking on Las Vegas Lights. Steven, 1 millionth fan of 2024. It's his own Sacramento Republic jersey, the confetti. Bring out all the stops for the fans this year. And here in Charleston, such a well-supported club, and they make Patriots Point a really fun place to come with the food trucks. Kids have a little soccer field in the back. A lot of activations going on.
Delightful. Lee Cohen was kind enough to share some of the local watering holes that also had delightful sandwiches, I might add, by the way, during our time at the USL Championship final in 2023.
Not surprised you found the local watering holes.
Good nourishment is the key to any successful adventure in life. Water and lemon. Lime, if you want to go the alkaline route.
That's my route.
Attaboy. Good recovery. The Birmingham Legion. Beautiful start by the Charleston Battery that saw them control opening 10-15 minutes of this match. Certainly still the better squad overall, though defensively, Legion have come a little bit deeper. I like the communication they've had both from the sideline and that front line to get themselves more of a presence out on the width. Now, they've given them more of the ball centrally, but it's enabled them to close down some of these passing lanes that were coming right down Route 1. It was scattering the back line and providing chances for the Battery. Not the case over the last 10 minutes.
It'll be a free kick at midfield to get us back underway. No score between the Charleston Battery and Birmingham Legion. USL Championship action in the Eastern Conference tonight. Charleston side trying to get a little bit closer to Louisville City at the top. They have now played one more game than Louisville, while Birmingham trying to inch their way up the standings, so the 3 points tonight could go a long way as the flag is up for offside against Marcanic. For Hibbert. Long upfield. Nothing doing for Birmingham, although they do win a second ball. Moda for Martinez. Hamoda. Gonna play it through. Pasher turning it back. Preston Tabor Taka battling forward. Taken off the ball by Chris Allen. Back for Leland Archer and Adam Grinwis. Out Malloy in the middle. And Allen. Flicked ahead, appeals for offside. Flag stays down. Here's MD Myers. Allen. And Akaza for Segbers and right back. Akaza is the square ball. Markanek. Markanek trying to get a shot away, was blocked. Now Birmingham looking for a way out. Dodson drives it forward. There's Preston Tabor Taka trying to turn the corner after a great first touch. Shoulder to shoulder with Archer. Strong defending from the experienced center back. Pressure on Markanek. Malloy through the middle. Dropped off for Torres. Flick through. Trying to get the cross away. It dribbles in. And Cronali clears. Will reset at midfield. Again, Charleston looking forward. It's been a lot of that this first half. 7 shots to 4 for the Battery. Just one of those has been on target. Down line for Dos Santos. He's trying to return it for Torres. Deflected cross coming in. Dos Santos, the shot over the bar.
Excellent patience here by the Charleston Battery that enables them to work the ball down into the corner. I would say once again, though, defensively, Birmingham Legion, they've got all their marks. The balls that are being cut back across all have the numerical advantage for the visitors, 3v2s, 2v1s, to enable them to provide support in time of need. Josh, the chances that are coming are usually from a slip or an ill-timed ball that are on the outside, most importantly, that when a mistake is made, whether from Mother Nature or by your own, they're doing it in areas that enable them to recover, which is the most important thing for them right now. It's been better in rotation defensively. What you're seeing is good movement by Prosper Kasim, more activity up top. Preston Tabor Taka, Tyler Pasher coming a little bit deeper on the right. So on the flanks, you've got more coverage. Just got to be a little bit faster on some of these balls coming through the middle that is enabling them to get down into the corner.
A back for Markanek. That is his spot. It was on his left peg, and he couldn't test Hibbert.
Exactly what I was talking about, though. If you're a little bit quicker into the rotation on the inside, both Kobe Hernandez-Foster and Jake Roof get caught ball watching here. The rotation's got to come up quicker You get pressure there, A, the ball might not make it down into the corner, and then B, Derek Dotson has the ability to adjust to the outside. Instead, you're gifting the Battery space. Well worked into the channel. For Marcanic, just a very difficult angle for him to get something on net.
Moda calm under pressure, picks out Martinez. Hernandez Foster.
We talked about the depth earlier for the Battery, right? And how it's not as predictable in 2024. Not as linear. They have multiple options, the ability to exploit you in a variety of ways. Let's include patience on that list of assets, right? Because they have no problem slowing this game down when it doesn't suit to their liking, to find a way to be adventurous on another avenue. And they were successful on this right-hand flank early on, then all of a sudden that route was closed. Recycled movements through the middle, now it's over on the left-hand side. They challenge you mentally on how you have to see the game in order to find success on the defensive front.
Turned over, Myers for Akaza, who's running in. Marcanic with them. Slowed him down just a bit. Back for Akaza, who cuts it in, he goes down. Point to the spot, penalty. And a yellow card shown to Alex Cronale.
The conversation coming into the match was about the confidence builder for this team and getting that man right there. Nick Marcanic bat on the board. Well, what he does for you on the defensive front, his ability to hold the width but to pressure that back line. His tackle, then his presence up top next to Emilia Akaza makes this entire opportunity happen for the Charleston Battery. Wins the first one, makes the 40-yard run, makes the back line guess. A mistake, good vision to stretch the game by the Battery and are rewarded 12 yards out.
Charleston 3 for 4 from the spot this season. Marcanic has made 2, Myers has made 1. Cronale is down. He did pick up that yellow card for the challenge in midfield. Has the ball in his hand. We talked about the first 11 for Marcanic scoring 12 goals. The last 6 where he's only scored 1. This can get him going again after scoring against North Carolina. It could be goals in 2 straight. We've seen a lot of this. You hold the ball, you hand it off. I don't know if he'll hand it off.
No, give it to me, get out of the way. I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going. I would say though, in the modern world, things are different. Runs a screen for someone. I prohibit the opponent from wandering around the penalty mark. Have the goalkeeper thinking about the tendency of somebody else prior to you stepping up. Mind games are as much as an impact as what you can do from the spot itself.
Jaden Hibbert in goal, the 19-year-old on loan from Atlanta United against Nick Marcanic. Looking for goal number 14 in 2024. Marcanic wasting no time, he scores! Marcanic's 14th goal the season, and Charleston leads 1-0.
Let's go back to the sequence that opened up this entire attack from the Charleston Battery. Great move by Marcanic to sell his body up and then watch him continue this run coming forward to allow them to not just have the 2v1, but when Jake Roof makes the recovery, you force this backline to shift itself. Kavita gets himself into trouble, recognizes it, can't reach back across, and then it's Marcanic to a familiar location that sees him isolated with the goalkeeper in a one-on-one and into the bottom corner. 663 minutes was the drought for Nick Marcanic and his inability to tickle the nylon. Now 2 goals in the last 52 minutes of play.
Even through all of the struggles for the Charleston Battery, they were still so strong defensively. And for a Birmingham team that is really just middle of the pack in terms of finding goals, this be a tough way to come back. They have a couple of wins though when conceding first this year. This, though, Patriots Point, not an easy place to get it done.
Certainly we are a long ways away from any sort of individual accolade. But with that strike right there, Marcanic extends his lead atop the Golden Boot race up to 14. Still plenty of games to come on the weekend, still plenty of games to come this season. But for a guy that was not known, nor is he overall, as an out-and-out scoring threat, he's already surpassed his 2023 total, and he is having some kind of season here in 2024 for the Charleston Battery, with now 18 goal contributions overall in the season.
He has now surpassed his goal-scoring total from last year. He scored 13 goals in 36 games in all competitions, now up to 14 in 20. Six minutes of stoppage time to close out the first half. Zegbers, who is too hot to handle. How quick can Birmingham go? Hamoda trying to lead the charge. Fending off Zegbers. Lays it off for Tabor Tataka, who will have a hit. And luckily there's netting there, otherwise that's in the parking lot.
Friendly reminder, by the way, that this young man, Mies Hamoda, just 16 years of age. Very young, solid start to the night. Generation Adidas best 11 player for the U15s in 2023 with the Sporting Kansas City Academy. Part of the added layer for both of these squads, that as the pyramid continues to evolve in this country, trying to find ways to have success. Of course, the Charleston Battery have no issue with that. You talked earlier about adding Zeke Soto, U.S. Youth National Team player. Most recently, of course, the noise that is probably a little bit louder is his former teammate, Fidel Barajas, initially brought here by the Battery at the end of the 2022 season. Elk Grove native out west, Sacramento Republic. Was ranked the 5th best high school player out of the 2024 class, but it's been the last 2 years that really have seen that youth continue to make those progressional steps in this country for the Charleston Battery. They sell him to Real Salt Lake. At the time, the fee is $250,000. Now a fee reported of up to $4 million, which has a sell-on clause that comes back to a percentage for the Charleston Battery as he departs for Chivas and Liga MX to do battle in the Apertura. And gone are the days where you're just grabbing pros right out of college and assembling a squad of 18 players and you're going to be able to survive in this league. It's not possible. You have to explore other avenues to achieve success.
Allen looking forward again. And Allen going for goal. One hop and into the arms of Jaden Hibbert. Edwards distribution off the mark. Throwing for Charleston. Birmingham no stranger to finding results in tough places to play. Talked about that comeback win against Detroit City on June 26th. This road form has been so good this year. 1-0 win early this year against Tampa Bay. This team can get it done in a lot of different ways, and they're going to have to try to piece something together come the second half or in these last few minutes of the first half. Marcanic wins it back. Here's MD Myers, touched away. A whistle and a stoppage. Looks like it'll be a drop ball.
Here's the real question for me in this situation. If you're Emilio Icaza and you're staring there in front of Enzo Martinez, are you asking him how long he's been growing the beard? Inquiring minds want to know.
Is he trying to grow on himself, or is he just asking?
No. No one grows the Enzo Martinez.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it was just like when Jorge Herrera was with the Charlotte Independents. No one asked him where those luscious locks came from. One of the all-time USL Championship greats, former teammate Enzo Martinez.
Mike Jeffrey still going strong with the Charlotte Independents, just up the road from here in Charleston in League One.
I tell you, the ability for the Legion to get back into this game, minute 20 to minute 30, 35 was because defensively they were much more organized. They were removing some of the mistakes just like that. They stayed themselves a little bit deeper in their setup, but now in order for them to get some options coming forward, it's about committing to numbers. Because the Battery, when they go, they have that space to step into. They do it so rapidly, they don't have to commit a ton of numbers. So as the Legion come the other direction, the numbers game is not in their favor. That's on Enzo Martinez, Jake Roof in the midfield, that front three, to really commit to the idea that they can go and chase this game. But Ben Pierman's gonna walk into that locker room and say, really well done. Now let's turn it up another notch, because they are only probably 2 gears into 10 of what this team is capable of in end-to-end football.
Here they come, looking to close the half strong. Dos Santos with him. Dos Santos slipped down. It'll run through for Hibbert. And that is the last action of the first half. A penalty for Charleston to get them on the board, and they have the lead going into halftime.
That is the halftime whistle, with your Charleston Battery leading Birmingham 1-0.
So we have reached the break from Patriots Point. A beautiful Friday evening on this holiday weekend, and the fans here at Patriots Point, they like what they see early on. It's Charleston 1 and Birmingham 0 at the break. Stay with us. A beautiful setting, and maybe one of the best settings in the USL Championship at Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's the Charleston Battery 1 and the Birmingham Legion 0. A look back at the first 45 minutes with our halftime highlights. We start things off, it was all Battery early.
Very aggressive early on, all energy, lots of rotation, and they were in attack mode at every angle. It started with Emilia Kaza on the inside, the inversion by Nick Marcanic, and they pick up a good chance on the back post that comes off the woodwork. But there was a response by the Birmingham Legion. More numbers coming forward. The high line here from Enzo Martinez. This is what I was talking about in the open. The ability come from a deep-lying nature to extend the attack up top and go to work just a bit wide. People forget, by the way, on this sequence prior to the goal, that man right there, Nick Marcanic, was primarily employed on the left flank in 2023. It's one of those added layers that I talk about under Ben Pierman. You bring him to the right, he gets pressure, they go 2v1, taken down, penalty, bottom corner, Charleston Battery cruising after 45 minutes, albeit only one goal to show for their efforts.
And 12 shots in total, 3 on target. They have the possession advantage. Birmingham, though, trying to just get some chance creation.
Something to think about, as great as it was for the Battery, and they won that first half, removed the score, they were the better team. If not for the mistake from Kobe Hernandez-Foster, where he coughed up that ball in the midfield. That's the second most efficient field player on the field for the Legion. This is still a 0-0 game, still close in proximity for Birmingham to get back into this match.
At the break from Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, it's the Charleston Battery that have the lead on this Friday night, and they're looking to keep that lead come this second half. We'll talk about the US Open Cup on the other side.
Down here on the pitch, it is the Charleston Fun Park PK Challenge. We got 3 contestants here. You know the drill. We got to see it get in one of those holes there. You got 3 shots. So who do we have here first? Joseph Rinaldi. We have Joseph Rinaldi. All right, where are we thinking? Any early targets here? What are we thinking?
We discussed amongst one another and decided that we just don't want to fall down.
Just don't fall down is the goal. All right, Mr. Rinaldi, here we go. Fans, we got the supporter section out here. Let's see what we got. The Charleston Fun Park PK Challenge. Now, a little low. I don't know about that one. It does not count if it goes under, unfortunately. But we got a good support from the crowd here. This is a good luck goal. Number 2. Just off. All right, it's okay. Well, one more try here. One more try. We just saw Nick Marcanic put it in right here. How about it's a good luck goal down here. Come on. Here we go. Oh, just off. Hey, good effort, though. Nice pace on that kick. I like it. All right, next up. Who do we have here? Daniel. We have Daniel here, masked up. This is awesome. All right. Any targets? You got your eye? It's going to be a surprise. Surprise. He's going to surprise us, okay? He doesn't have one in mind, or maybe he does. Makes a noise for Daniel. Off we go. Oh, yeah, that's a beauty. That is a beauty. I don't even think I hit any of it. Oh, yeah. There's that one. There we go. There we go. Gotta love it.
Wait, what did I ask you last night? I forgot.
You didn't ask me anything. You were supposed to ask me if any of them had a shot.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I did it myself. I was like, oh, the question here should be.
I'll ask.
Born in USA. Born.
Penalty kick number 1.
A great setting in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, where the Charleston Battery lead the Birmingham Legion by a 1-0. Back here at Patriots Point with lead USL analyst Devin Kerr. I'm Josh Eastern. Well, Devin, the US Open Cup is back on Tuesday, the quarterfinals. 3 USL Championship teams still alive. Do any of them have a chance?
Yes. The chip in a chair, everybody's got a chance, right? I mean, percentage-wise, 3 out of the remaining 8. There's definitely a chance for one of them, you would think, to get to the final. But let's talk about all 3 of these and their matchups. The darlings, we'll start with, of the 2022 US Open Cup run that was Sacramento Republic all the way to the final against Orlando City. The good news, they've got a star-studded cast that's back. That core group of players that made that run is still there. The question here is going to be, what can they do in the attacking third for chance creation in the absence of Roro Lopez? The health of Lee Desmond on the back line to help distribution, but they can always rely on Danny Vitiello. Goalkeepers with 100 appearances in USL Championship play, lowest goals against average in USL Championship history. Indy, 10 different goal scorers, led by Aiden Stanley on the outside in this formation change. That sees him leading the USL Championship in assists and top 10 in chances creation. This is about rotation for them. They have such quality and grace moving forward. Defensively, one of the best teams over the last 10 matches. They've got the real belief and the best chance for an upset out of all 3 of these teams. New Mexico United, I'd argue, is playing the prettiest football in all of USL Championship play, but they've got the hardest opponent in Steve Cherundolo and LAFC. This is going to be a late-night fixture, 11 o'clock Eastern on Apple TV, and it's going to be about suffering because their success is predicated on being on the ball. LAFC is going to remove that option. If it's Marco Micheletto, if it's Greg Hurst, any of the characters that are on that field tonight have to find a way mentally to push through the barrier that is going to see them get away from the morals and values that has seen success in championship play so far.
The bracket as it looks, Sacramento Republic against Seattle and LAFC against New Mexico, part of the western side of it. And then SKC and Dallas is the all-MLS fixture. And Atlanta United, Indy 11, all trying to get to the semifinals. We are at halftime tonight from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina and Patriots Point. It's the Charleston Battery 1, the Birmingham Legion 0. The second half is on the way. Getting you set for the second half from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina and Patriots Point. The USL on ESPN. It's the Charleston Battery 1 and Birmingham Legion 0. Such a great setting, and he has set it up for the Charleston Battery for a second half in which they can go out and grab 3 points for the second straight week. Nick Marcanic, his league-leading 14th goal, converting from the penalty spot. And Charleston trying to make it 2 in a row after going through a very tough stretch of 5 games winless. For Birmingham Legion, a spot they've been in before on the road just a couple of weeks ago against Detroit City. Can they make the comeback once again? They were 1-0 down in that game, ended up winning it 2-1. Looks like a substitution coming onto the field. Miguel Perez will enter for Prosper Kasim. So Kasim in his 150th regular season appearance only goes 45 minutes. Perez, the loanee from St. Louis City. There's the whistle, and here we go. 45 more minutes from Patriots Point, the Charleston Battery and the Birmingham Legion. And already an early corner kick coming for Birmingham. Perez comes on as the one change at the break, the 19-year-old from St. Louis. And Enzo Martinez preparing to deliver. It's an in-swinging ball. Leland Archer commanding header away. It's not only a position Birmingham was in a couple of weeks ago, going down 1-0 against Detroit, but they have failed to score a first half goal in 15 of their 17 games in the USL Championship this season. Maybe not a huge surprise that that's the most in the USL Championship.
Well, some people could look at that as a glass half empty. I look at the other side and their ability to adjust glass half full to get back into matches. It's a testament to what they've been able to do on the sidelines, the ability for that information to be conveyed appropriately to the troops on the field, and then to go and implement that in the second half. And plenty of team, Josh, come out strong, play well. Maybe they get their goal, maybe they don't, but then a team start to evolve throughout the match and they can't adjust. So you have to tip the cap to the Legion there.
It's taken away all the way back for Adam Grinwis. Torres trying to keep it. Instead, it's Dodson, former Battery player. Dodson's cross in a good area. Put it all the way through the 6-yard box. It'll trickle out of play. It's a goal kick.
You could certainly argue that you needed to see more out of Derek Dodson on the outside flank. The problem was the majority of his first half was spent locking down David Torres and Nate Dos Santos, so busy on the defensive front. How do you find a way to maintain a presence up high? And that's another thing that you go through, Josh, in the adjustment period here, is mentally you chase and you chase and you chase. That the second you win the ball, your natural tendency is to try and play direct, play long, fight that. You don't want to give the ball away because you think when you have the ball, you have to work even harder, but it's exactly the opposite. Retain possession, let the ball do the work, make the Charleston Battery feel some of that pain and suffering that you just went through.
Coming for Charleston in their first venture forward in the second half. Marcanic slipped down. Allen trying to slow the progress. Egbers coming over, throwing Birmingham. Derek Dotson. And Perez. Switch of play, Hamoda. For Roof. Not sure how many minutes we'd see from Jake Roof tonight. He's been one of those players that has been out of the lineup due to injury. Tommy Sohn said he's going to train this week. We'll see how many minutes we can get out of him. He got the start, and he's continuing on into the second half. Might just be a numbers thing. It might also be he's back to full fitness a bit quicker.
I would probably say it's the numbers conversation more than anything, and the quality that you get by Jake Roof. A revelation 2024 for Tommy Sohn, a guy who spent the majority of his career as a marking bat specifically on this right-hand flank, but depth chart not so kind when you bring Derek Dotson in on loan from Minnesota United organization and MLS. So how do you start to reinvent some of the attributes that are so good for him on the outside? He's comfortable back to the game, can play centrally on the inversion when he was out there, so why not utilize him as a midfielder in the 3?
Here's Dos Santos trying to stand it up, back post. Kavita nodding it away, and Kaza tracks it down. Picks out Aaron Malloy. He wants a hit! Deflected over the bar. But the flag is up for offside. Boy, that ball stayed 2 feet off the ground. That was a rocket.
How clean was this thing hit by Aaron Malloy? I'll tell you, his adjustments that he's able to make in such an unnatural position. You know, he has to attack this ball when he tries to bring it down, which he does very well to do so. He then recognizes the space is closing over the left shoulder pretty rapidly, and he's got to hit it. And immediately on impact, catches it square, which enables this ball to maintain momentum. And just knuckle a little bit in front of Jaden Hibbert.
If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus your live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Hibbert taking his time to put it back in play for Birmingham. Torres, field for Allen. Through for Akaza, driving forward. Torres, Dotson denies it, out for a corner.
Stop your feet, make some noise. That's a corner kick. Coming up for your Charleston Battery.
First corner of the half for the Battery. Malloy, the in-swinger towards the near post, defended well. Here's Pasher. Looking for a way out. Pasher turns it over. MD Myers back for Torres. His cross, there's nobody at the back post, and Hamoda will carry it out. Kavita and Pasher. Birmingham comes in tied for the 7th least amount of goals scored in the USL Championship with 18, and that could be trouble. It's a yellow card for Fanuel Kavita.
The first half, the far side of the field with Alex Crognali late on the challenge, led to the penalty and goal on Emilio Icaza. Similar here from Kavita, who recognizes immediately the way that he's created too much separation between his shoulders. He can't move his feet quick enough. Marcanic had a step on him.
Santos down the line. Kaza rolls it in. It runs through. MD Myers trying to connect it out wide. Segbers saved and spilled, but Hibbert holds on. Parried it back into the mixer. Hibbert was quick enough to react.
To be fair to the 16-year-old and Misamoda, it's the first time in a one-on-one that an attacker has got the best of him. To be fair, he's in recovery mode, but really well taken by Mark Segbers nonetheless, as that explosion creates just the slightest of windows to enable him to go and challenge the goalkeeper. And then Hibbert spilled the first one, cat-like on the second, sacrificing his body.
Penetrating ball forward and the shot dribbling wide. It's out for a goal kick. MD Myers trying to get started tonight.
You got to be careful with the aggression, because if you are going to jump the route, you have to be faster. We've talked about the rotation out of the midfield a couple of times here. Jake Roof was a little slow. Hamoda tries to go and help out, and then the space in behind opens up. It forces this back line to create separation within the ranks that allows guys like MD Myers and Emilia Kaza to slip through the cracks.
MD Myers, Big Ten Player of the Year in 2022 at Rutgers. Last season in MLS Next Pro with NYCFC2. A Golden Boot, scoring 19 goals. And here's Kaza, touched away. Ali turns it over. Marcanic. Down the line for Akaza, who turns it back. Marcanic for Malloy. Running into Torres. It keeps on moving. It's MD Myers showing patience and putting it off the bar.
About Aaron Malloy, to be fair. No disrespect to what MD Myers does, but as the 10 rotates back out, Aaron Malloy comes high, Marcanic comes deep, and then watch him off the left shoulder. Back to goal, feels the pressure. Eyes in the back of the head, then turns and feels the pressure over the left side to allow this ball to squeak over about 3 yards to MD Myers, who does everything possible to try and get around the goalkeeper, but Jaden Hibbert makes himself a massive target to get in the way and prohibit the second of the night.
Sub on the way. Diba Nwegbo, the 22-year-old from Ackworth, Georgia, ready to come on. Jake Roof will exit. Just talked a few minutes ago about his fitness, and Tommy Sohn has to be pretty pleased about getting 57 minutes out of Roof tonight.
He's got to be careful, too, because it didn't go to plan in the absence of Jake Roof against Louisville City. They struggled mightily, albeit a victory, but on the road against Detroit City. And when you're already nursing Dawson McCartney back to health, they don't know what the timetable is there. Getting at least one of them back is much better than having to watch both of them be removed from squad selection.
Asher trying to weave through. Now it's Enzo Martinez. Martinez taken by Grinwis. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Birmingham on the move. Comes infield, Martinez. Couldn't slip Allen. Torres tried to do the right thing, but ended up carrying off his leg. Kobe Hernandez Foster. Now Wakaza with room to drive forward. Feeling the pressure in the middle from Hernandez Foster and turned over. Looking for Nwegbo, and it runs all the way through. Allen in for Akaza. Arcanic. Akaza tried to find Malloy, and maybe a chance to run for Birmingham. Pasher right through the middle. Pasher touches it ahead, and Archer toe pokes it back for Grinwis, and the flag is up for offside.
The flag's up for offside. Pasher had a runner on the far side of the field, and I'd even go a step further, Josh, and say that this was a foul in the middle. Watch as Tyler Pasher releases this ball, gets a touch on it. Again, he's in an offside position, but also prohibits the ability of Tyler Pasher to continue his run coming forward.
Myers tries to lay it off. Segbers continues his run. Cleaned up well by Hamoda. Nwegbo turned over. Torres. Hudson denies that shot.
For the battery, you got to keep moving. Kobe Hernandez Foster on the inside. They found success rotating side to side in the first half because of just that. When he starts to drop deep underneath Mickey Perez and Enzo Martinez, that's when he closes off those passing lanes. If you keep the ball moving, quick touches side to side, all of a sudden he has to shift. That enables Emilio Icaza to be more active in front of Chris Allen, Aaron Malloy, and find the paths to play through.
Just joining us, 43rd minute penalty from Nick Marcanic. His league-leading 14th goal. Charleston has been full of goals this season. Also been very, very strong defensively. The most clean sheets in the USL Championship with 9. They had 13 in all of 2023. Get you one of those hats, Devin.
Pirate hat?
Oh, yeah.
Need a feather in the cap.
You need an eye patch, too.
Both sides.
Go all in.
And a salted pretzel from the food area.
They can get you one.
Oh, yeah.
The in-swinger towards the near post. Gonna get it by the first man.
It's the one thing I didn't do when I was there. I was like griped about it for years on end. Moving to Patriots Point, everything that they did food-wise.
Here's Martinez. Martinez feeling contact. It's waved away immediately by Lorenzo Hernandez. Torres and Malloy. Gonna slip it in behind. Cronale denies.
How's that not a penalty? I mean, there is 100% contact on the outside of the foot on Enzo Martinez by Nate Dos Santos. Watch. Right over the shoulder. Twice, 2 different angles. He hits the outside of his right foot to take him to ground.
I don't think it's enough.
You don't think it's enough contact? Think about the statement that you just made. There's not enough contact on him, but you can agree that there is contact.
Yeah, well, of course, you
Done.
go
We're done.
shoulder to shoulder with
We're done.
somebody.
No. Look at his feet. His foot hits his foot. As an attacker coming through into the box, you make contact with his foot. You're impeding his path.
Not the first call we've disagreed with today. As this shot comes on.
There's Joe Malfa when you need him.
Taka.
He's been very active tonight at Casa. Love what he's done.
Flag up for offside on MD Myers. Another look at the penalty shout.
So explain this to me, just so that everybody at home can understand. What are you seeing?
They just get their feet tangled up.
He literally steps on his foot. His right foot hits his right foot. Nate Dos Santos bumps Enzo Martinez's right foot as he's starting to step.
I'm gonna hear it from the Birmingham fans. I'm on Lorenzo Hernandez's side.
It's okay. 65 minutes into a match in my career, I would have just gotten myself thrown out.
That's why you're sitting next to me.
Bingo.
Charleston looking to add on to this lead. We were talking earlier about this, that killer instinct, and you talked about in the first half, they're only in maybe that second gear out of 10. How do they increase those gears? As Allen looks to send this in, back post! And bouncing out of play. Well, that could have been a start.
I would say number one, continue to be more adventurous coming forward. The one thing you notice over the last 10 minutes, the chances aren't just coming from direct balls on the outside, nor from Emilio Icaza. They're doing a much better job of getting Chris Allen and Aaron Malloy in advanced positions to make it more difficult to track the runners. So that opens up space on the outside, creates more chances as they move 30 yards and in. Excellent shift tonight for Emilio Icaza. Very active, causing real problems in front of that back four that created separation. And this is about minutes for Arturo Rodriguez. Picked up an injury early on in the season, has been up and down ever since. They're trying to get him back to fitness. You come up, you build. Is it going to be Nate Dos Santos? Do you have the overlapping run from Mark Segbers? Have you inverted your outside wingers to create 5 across the midfield line? Have you bumped your 10 up next to MD Myers? These are all things that Ben Pierman is regularly challenging his players with. The difference is right now, 67 minutes in the match, although on the lead, you've only seen 2 or 3 of those, right? So it's constant pressure for sure, but making sure the opponent recognizes at any given point in time in a match, you can strike. That's where we haven't seen the most of them tonight.
Locked in defensively, there's no doubt about that. Denying a lot of chances, just 6 shots conceded tonight. 1 on target. Here comes MD Myers now, and Charleston. Myers hesitated, and that was enough time for Cronali to step in. Now he wants to go quick over the top. Gonna cut this in, the shot, and will not really touch down on Grinwis. Rodriguez trying to play it through. It was blocked down and back at the feet of the Legion. Preston Tabor to Taka with room to run. Tabor to Taka gets it centrally, and Smith gets it away. So Martinez. Del Perez. Hernandez Foster swings it around. Hamoda. Tabor to Taka. This time lifting the cross in. Smith there to deny. D. Myers under pressure from Kavita. Chris Allen. Juan David Torres. Boyd trying to pick out the pass. MD Myers was in an offside position. Down the line, Arturo Rodriguez. Looking for MD Myers, who tried to flick it towards goal. Torres tracks it down in the corner. Another chance to cross. The header is in! Nick Marcanic scores! It's a brace on the night for Nick Marcanic, and Charleston leads 2-0.
This is a geometry lesson somewhere for the group. Space created by Marcanic in between the towers that are Alex Cronali and Fanuel Cavita. What patience by the Charleston Battery to rotate this back to the other side because they didn't have numbers up high. So Arturo Rodriguez pops himself out of the pocket. The adventurous outside backs, they're too aggressive. Then all of a sudden they have to drop. Rodriguez recognizes it, puts this on an absolute platter, and how, oh how, does Marcanic slip in between the two?
The first brace for Nick Marcanic since April 27th, when he scored 4 goals and had an assist in the 6-0 win over Las Vegas Lights. And for Tommy Sohn, now it's a long way back. They haven't stopped the main man, his 15th goal this season, Nick Marcanic.
I told you they keep you guessing, right? So they come up high, and you commit, and all of a sudden the pressure starts to come again on the other side, so you drop down deep, you forget about the space that you had just stepped into. Super sub Arturo Rodriguez still making his way back to full fitness. Dishes a dime to Marcanic, who, to be fair, was ever present in the first half as well. He's the one who created the opportunity on the chance for Emilio Icaza on this tackle right there that eventually leads to the referee pointing to the spot 12 yards out. Good little cutback by Icaza on the ball given by Marcanic, but as he steps up, only one direction the entire time. That wand of a left foot into the bottom corner for Nick Marcanic to grab his 14th of the year. Second in 2 games over a 52-minute span, and then this is just utter brilliance by both Arturo Rodriguez on the service and Marcanic on the redirection to beat Jaden Hibbert in his 2nd of the night.
Marcanic continues to score. Some of the sights here at Patriots Point. One of the best settings in the USL Championship. Sunset here in the Low Country. The sun could be setting on this one tonight for Birmingham Legion unless they can find a couple of late goals. Still Hibbert, who is being stretched out after conceding that goal. Matt Van Oekel is available on the bench tonight. Hibbert coming in on loan from Atlanta United 2. He's been the goalkeeper now over the last few weeks for the Legion.
I'll recognize this, that for Tom Sohn, that list of injuries that we've referenced to all of the field players also includes Matt Van Oekel, who's making his way back. It's the reason they went and got Jaden Hibbert to begin with, not because they needed a backup for Matt Van Oekel, but because Van Oekel became injured and they've already lost their backup in Trevor Spangenberg earlier this season. That would make it 3 deep in first choice selections for Tom Sohn as the year has gone on, and you know, there's not a ton to it. It looks like just the way that he tries to step
Those fibers on the backside of his leg just didn't agree with him. That's the Gatorade bottle. Low Country has certainly left its mark on the New Jersey native so far.
How about this? It is going to be Owen Jack coming onto the field now for the Birmingham Legion. Player who has yet to make an appearance this year, the 24-year-old. He's been on the bench for 4 games. This is his pro debut. And he actually was signed from the Lubbock Matadors. You'll remember back to the US Open Cup, making a nice run in the Open Cup this year before being ousted to New Mexico United. Did beat 4-0 by 2-0. He started both of those games. And now linking up here with the Birmingham Legion and getting thrust into action tonight. I'm sure Tommy Sohn thought they'd be 5 goalkeepers in early July here this season. Gonna play it in behind, and the flag up for offside. Play through the middle, and now it's Diba Nwegbo. The cross to the back post taken by Grinwis. Not quite quick enough from the Legion. You're Owen Jack, what's going through your head right now?
Opportunity. You mentioned his time at University of Vermont, 22 appearances, 18 goals against and 9 shutouts. Not a bad run whatsoever. Recognize that that's in 1 season of play. Transferred from Stetson University, where over 4 years from 18 to 22. He only had 22 appearances overall. Under 1 goal against average with Vermont, just above at 1.39 in a 4-year span for the Hatters. So certainly statistically not an issue for him. Cape Coral native that was an all-area player. He's won a state title at the high school level that just hasn't necessarily, outside of his final collegiate year as a grad transfer, been given the #1 shot at the next level. So I'm looking at it as opportunity for Owen Jack to assert yourself in times of need for Tommy Sohn.
Gonna float it forward again. Dodson will clear it away. Sub coming for Birmingham. Stefano Pino will enter. It is the end for Ramiz Hamoda. 16-year-old earned his first professional start tonight. 77 minutes, and now an attack-minded sub on for Tommy Sohn.
What were you doing at 16? Don't answer that. It was only 2 years ago.
Very funny, very funny.
He did well for himself. Hamoda, really clean on the ball. You know, for young players, Josh, I talked positionally what the matchup would look like, what you're asking them to do. Do the easy things. Don't overcomplicate the game and make it harder than necessary. 4th most efficient player on the field, won a lot of his duels, and just held serve out on that far side. That's what you could ask if you were Tommy Sohn of him coming into the night. Job completed. Problem is now is mistakes made in another area, and how well the Charleston Battery have been moving forward, just so constant in the way that they tried to attack the game, whether it be direct, playing down underneath, all of the rotation within the attacking options for Penn Pierman have done a really good job just being constant as they move forward.
2 subs coming for Charleston. It's the end of the night for MD Myers and Juan David Torres Josh Drack and Jackson Conway enter for Ben Pierman in the Battery.
Your attention, substitutions for the Charleston Battery in the 79th minute. Coming out, number 9.
Jackson Conway, the 22-year-old, formerly with Atlanta. Short loan spell at Phoenix Rising last year. His first season with Charleston has 3 goals. Josh Drack, his first season with the Battery as well. Spent last year with Huntsville, before that with LA Galaxy 2. I'd like to see Owen Jack next to Matt Van Okel.
There's not enough plates in the weight room for that conversation.
The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
I referenced opportunity for Owen Jack. Similar conversation for that man right there. And Josh Drack, who coming in to the season for the Battery was the #1 overall choice at the left back spot. Last year occupied by Mark Segbers, but his preferred position is the right. So what did they do in the offseason? They didn't go get one. They got 2 #1 options over there, Nate Dos Santos being the other. He can flip-flop sides. You can play him up high. Again, defensively, Nate Dos Santos better in one-on-one situations, but Josh Drack and the way that he can attack this game, really comfortable as you move him into that gray area, just off the shoulder of the central midfielders. But just give your manager something to think about as the squad selection process continues to evolve through the team sheet for Ben Pierman. Over the past couple of games, they've rotated those opportunities back and forth.
Smith out wide for Dos Santos. Conway calling for it in the middle. Instead, it's chested down, and Marcanic just misses his chance at a hat trick.
How good is the ball in by Nate Dos Santos, though? The rotation on it just puts it right in the path, and that'll be a locker room story to tell you that, yeah, he was trying to pick out Marcanic. Can promise you it was Conway. Just rushes it. Backside.
Tabor Ataka coming to the end line. Players going down. It's a foul against Tabor Ataka. So it's been a tough night for his Birmingham Legion side. He's talked about how they really haven't had a prolific score. They've had to do it in a lot of different ways. He did mention the summer window being important for this team. The cross comes in, the header is over the bar. We were talking before the game about kind of the change in who has been at the top of this formation over the years for the Birmingham Legion. We had Juan Agudelo over the last few years. There's not really a true out-and-out number 9 on this team, and they're still searching for that go-to guy.
The idea behind it coming into the year was Mo Toure was going to be the one to be that. The Sierra Leone native that had 63 goals overall in 181 appearances. You're marking right around 40% of the time. That's not a bad number to chase down. Injured in the first match, but then it was Juan Agudelo the previous year. Nico Brett has been involved, J.J. Williams. Now it's, although not a direct number 9, Tyler Pasher can be involved in that conversation as well. And to me, previous iterations of the Birmingham Legion didn't set themselves up for overall success at the 9 spot. But with injuries comes opportunity. And I would also include the inclusion of Coutier into the supporting staff on the sideline. Birmingham 2 coach in USL League 2 and the assistant coach next to Tommy Sohn that has given them a little bit more of an offensive-minded look Certainly that was the case that you got out of him in his time out of Orange County, so they want to be more aggressive in the midfield and attack the game.
Rodriguez moves it out wide. Arcanic gonna get behind Wegbo. And this ball stays in play. And down goes the corner flag, and now it goes out of play.
And to me, eventually, once you get that health back, you are going to get more opportunities for that 9 position. It'll put Enzo Martinez up higher, and you'll have the luxury of 2 options up either side of him. Get Jake Roof, get Dawson McCartney, take control of the midfield and allow your wingers to get up. That's going to take some of the pressure off that striker position up top. It should produce more results.
Corner kick for Charleston. Aaron Malloy will take it, the 5th corner of the night for the Battery. Towards the near post, the flick is over the bar. Had the attention of Owen Jack. Up to meet it. Drac. Fortunate deflection for him. Here's Tabor Nataka. Back post. Touched away by Grinwis.
So clever from Adam Grinwis, by the way, as Graham Split comes out. As a goalkeeper, you recognize that your center back has come out. You're not going to have support at top of the 6, so you're either going to let that ball go to the backside, set up for what might be an attacking threat coming at you, or be aggressive. Come off your line, go and chase that square ball back across. Adam Grinwis chooses the latter, and very well taken. How's this run, by the way, that the Legion are going to have to handle? Coming off the loss against Louisville City, although a couple of minutes left here tonight. Second Eastern Conference Charleston Battery looked to beat in the clubhouse with 3 points. Then you got to go to Colorado Springs, only 1 loss in their last 12. Excuse me, host Colorado Springs, 1 loss in their last 12. Connell Smith in Rhode Island. Lady Luck seems to be shining on them in the Northeast. On the road to New Mexico United. Doesn't get any easier for them right now.
Malloy striding forward. Arturo Rodriguez lifting it in. Malloy trying to keep it alive. Adjusted down by Conway. No whistle and play on.
Is a little bit different for the Charleston Battery, who turn around in a week's time. They'll travel to Brendan Burke on the Hartford Athletic, who've been struggling in the Eastern Conference. They'll then get another layup, at least for the time being, against Miami FC the following week. And then the fun one, on the road to Loudoun, top quality. On the road to the Rowdies, playing very well, hosting Indy 11, hosting Memphis, and at Louisville. You were talking about a relative who's who in the Eastern Conference, with a little bit of Western magic sprinkled in 901 FC on that stretch of games.
Game against Loudoun, the annual 11 a.m. kick as well.
I know you've got that marked down on your calendar.
I think I'll be calling it, so I will be there. Hopefully you'll be tuned in.
By the way, Ryan Martin, 7 games. You heard that right. Unbeaten in the Eastern Conference. 5 wins to their name.
I will say, they gave LAFC a very good fight.
And a strong LAFC squad at that.
Drac turns the corner. This is rolled in Fields. Flex back towards goal. Some English on it. Marcanic couldn't keep it. Tiba Nwegbo will get it out.
Just to put a cherry on that for Loudon. 8 points through their first 10 games of the season. 17 points over their last 7. Some would say that's good in certain circles.
Oh yeah, they're in 6th place right now.
I had a really good conversation with Gary Bailey, another analyst in the USL Championship and other platforms, leagues around the United States, and he was on the call for this last match, and he looked at me and he said, that's a top 4 team, the way that they're playing right now. It gives you an idea of the turnaround for Ryan Martin and Loudon. Gone are the days of young academy products being cultivated for the benefit of others. Instead, still has the youthful exuberance on his side, while also the quality, depth, and experience that they brought in, who've been around the pyramid of soccer in the United States, that have enabled them to chase that type of success over the past couple of weeks.
Subs for Charleston, and it's the end of the night for Nick Marcanic. A brace for the Battery. Doing it in a lot of different ways. His 2 goals.
One would argue that it doesn't get much easier from 12 yards out, though I wouldn't necessarily say that, matched up against Jaden Hibbert, who has been a revelation for Tommy Sohn and the Birmingham Legion. That one off the Richter scale in terms of level of difficulty for Nick Marcanic. Between Fanuel Kavita, Alex Cronali. The pillars of success once again shone bright for the Charleston Battery on the evening. Nick Marcanic, control, nearly from start to finish here for Ben Pierman's boys. There's such a quality of grace about them that sees them content at certain moments within a match, and then the level of anxiety can be absolutely burst through the roof with their intentions moving forward when they want it to be, make you feel uncomfortable. And this is the performance that makes you understand why, when they play the game the way that they want to, open football, attack-minded, pressing you defensively, many a player, coach, and fan around the championship will tell you that this is one of the best teams that is to be feared in all the land.
Those 2 subs coming on, Diego Gutierrez and Robbie Crawford. Nathan Dos Santos, the other player, off. Charleston looking for their 10th clean sheet, and that's the most in the USL Championship. Why not add another goal or 2, although this taken away by Tiba Nwegbo. Hernandez Foster or Tyler Pasher. Couldn't thread the needle on the pass. Floated over the top, and just a bit too far for Arturo Rodriguez to handle. Just about midway through the minimum of 6 minutes. Kavita on the turn, Nwegbo. In field, now he cuts it back. Sends the cross away, Dodson's up for it. That header glancing wide. have been banging all night, and for good reason. Plenty to cheer about for the Battery fans tonight. Another beautiful night here in Mount Pleasant, and it looks like 3 more points staying here at Patriots Point. Another game in the USL Championship tonight is Rhode Island and Indy 11, which is 2-2 at the moment. The 71st minute. Available on ESPN+.
Rhode Island points in 4 of their last 5 matches, back-to-back wins against the Indy 11 team that 8 wins in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Saw that come to an end last week against Orange County. Trying to get themselves back in the 3 points column before doing battle midweek on the road against Atlanta United in US Open Cup quarterfinal play.
Here come the Battery, across too far out in front of Conway.
You got to pick in any one of those 3 matches you feel like looks a little bit better than the other?
One moment, here's Rodriguez. Rolling it centrally, Gutierrez, shot blocked. Maybe another chance, it's saved by Jack. And his first save for the Birmingham Legion.
Yeah, excellent save here by Owen Jack. Just watch the bodies in front of him. Shielded by the center back and Jackson Conway. Really good job to get low, make himself big, and full extension to get on the end of it.
To answer your question, it's hard not to pick against Sacramento Republic. Some magic in the indomitable city.
By the way, that's coming from a Seattle Senator.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you know it's got some weight behind it. You like the magic of Sacramento, right?
Oh yeah.
Certainly the cup run in 2022 comes to mind. That's what your heart tells you. What does your mind tell you?
Indy 11.
Hey.
Great, you mentioned their form.
Yeah.
You mentioned at halftime who they're playing. But this game has come to a close. A comprehensive win for Ben Pierman and the Charleston Battery as they dispatch the Birmingham Legion by 2-0. Marcanic a brace. It's a 5th consecutive win for the Battery against Birmingham. And now 2 straight wins for Charleston. They might be getting some of that groove back that they had from the start of the season. It all centers around that man, Nick Marcanic. We will come back and wrap things up from Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. The final score tonight, the Charleston Battery 2 and the Birmingham Legion 0. Stay with us. We'll be right back. time to break out the Pedro music in Charleston as the Battery close out a 2-0 win over the Birmingham Legion. Ben Pierman, applause for the fans tonight. A celebratory mood in Mount Pleasant. Looking back at the full 90 minutes with our full-time highlights, we'll start things off 43rd minute, giveaway in the middle, and Charleston off to the races.
Said you're trying to build confidence for this team that's coming off an incredible second half performance. Although against the 10-man team of North Carolina, they still produced 5 goals, so go and stoke that fire early, create chances, and allow this team to attack wide open. It's Markanek and Ikaza who give them that luxury of chance. Early on in the first half, Ikaza taken down, Markanek steps up and puts one into the bottom corner. They're off and running. Let's turn the page into the second half here. Their expansion of play needed to evolve because they became a little bit predictable, as we've seen in games past for the Charleston Battery. So where is the opportunity going to come from? It was about recycling chances in the second half. They didn't take the first bite at the apple. They stood on the ball, had quality patience, and then started to produce chance after chance from a different side of the field. Rotate from one, find the other, and then create from within. Almost found a second of the night in this same fashion. Great job by Malloy stepping up through middle. MD Myers around the goalkeeper, just enough on it. Jaden Hibbert pushed it aside, remains 1-0.
70th minute, the chances continued for the Battery as they were pressing forward for a second, and the substitute, Arturo Rodriguez, finding an assist.
It wasn't the most efficient night for Aaron Malloy in the midfield, but after that one through on MD Myers, he is part of the reason they recycled to the far side. That assist, by the way, from Arturo Rodriguez, and this is an added layer of excellence that you can get from your bench and Ben Pierman as they work him back from injury. His 4th on the season. It's the team lead. He's only played half the game, 9 matches. So as good as it's been from Emilio Ikaza and for long periods of stretches for the Charleston Battery, there is still much more to come for this team that excelled in such a variety of ways tonight.
Nothing like a cold drink after a brace for Nick Markanek as he grabs a brace on the night. That will do it for our coverage tonight from Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. The Charleston Battery continue to close the gap at the top of the Eastern Conference. For our entire crew, broadcast partner Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long as the Charleston Battery win this one against Birmingham by 2-0. Good night from the Low Country and Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.